Right, hello there, everyone. Welcome back to the 1894 podcast. Welcome back to an off-season episode of the podcast. We're back and we're committed as always to delivering, giving you content. And yeah, we're here to discuss Bristol City's slightly delayed version compared to other content creators, but nevertheless, we are here for Bristol City's 23-24 EFL Championship season review. I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Matiss. Matiss, how are you doing? How had it been? A couple of weeks since the last time we played Stoke away. Well, we don't want to talk about that. Yeah, how's your off season started so far?
Not been too bad. Yeah, obviously that Stoke away wasn't the best way to end the season, but I did go there. The vlog's still up on the channel if you want to watch that dismal day. But no, it's not been too bad. I mean, there's still been other football going around, like the Champions League and the Premier League final day happened. Playoffs has been happening still for the Championship, and now we have our two finalists, Leeds and Southampton. Other than that, I mean, yesterday I actually got to meet Alex Scott and Anton Semenyo, which was pretty fantastic. It was on my story because Bournemouth came away to Chelsea, and I managed to bump into them before they went on to the game, and Lloyd Kelly as well. So a few ex-Bristol City players there. I actually asked Alex Scott if Tommy and Joe are going to stay next year. He laughed and he said, I'm not sure. He definitely knows, but couldn't give anything away to me. But yeah, no, not been too bad. Already some rumours coming around for potential transfers. But other than that, not too much.
Yeah, good. Sounds good. Yeah, well, should we just get straight into it, shall we? And we'll start talking about, well, this season in particular. There's no real script for this. I haven't gone, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this moment. We're going to talk about that moment. I've not. Just go off the cuff, shall we? Let's go from the start of the season because that makes sense chronologically. Start of the season, obviously, he who must not be named. No, not Voldemort. Nigel Pearson was in charge of Bristol City. Kind of a good summer. Good summer until we sold Alex Scott to Bournemouth. And then it all went to, down the drain. Let me ask you this. How would you reflect on Ross McCrory, Hayden Roberts, Jason Knight, Taylor Gardner-Hickman, all signed in the summer? If I'm not mistaken. Rob Dickey. And one more.
Bring it up now.
6, wasn't it? Oh, I'll check. You waffle.
I think you got all of them. But yeah, I thought the summer transfer window, I mean, going into it, we obviously made some early additions. Beginning of June, we already brought in Dickey and McCrory, and then came Roberts and Jason Knight soon after. Or Jason Knight a bit further into it. But it was a bright summer, a lot of optimism going into the new season. And while looking back on it, they've been incredible signings, really. Rob Dickey, named our player this season, been a brilliant defender, scoring goals in vital games, keeping us in matches and just being a brilliant all-rounder. McCrory, one of the ones that didn't go our way, obviously with the injury that held him back for the majority of the season. He's come back, though, and he's shown that he can play a role, and excited to see if he can, do that again next season. Then Hayden Roberts, again, didn't play a massive part in the first part of the season, but then under Manning now he's been flourishing, brilliant defensively. He scored a goal as well, so yeah, brilliant. And then Jason Knight. I mean, we mentioned him like every single episode. What a player! And yeah, he's been crucial. So but Jason Knight and Dickey in particular, really, really, really impressive signings, and they've done so well for us.
It's one thing you've got to give Nigel Pearson credit for, haven't you? It's the recruitment, and especially in this first summer when we had Andy King and James come in through the door, and even like the George Tanner come in. It was never for massive money. The same thing here. I know Jason Knight was a couple of £1 million, and McCrory was a couple of £1 million, and Gardner Hickman's loan fee was about 700 grand, and wasn't cheap, but relative because we sold Alex Scott, it was like bare minimum, is something you've got to give him credit for. We'll start the season 4 points in our opening 2 games. Looks, well, it wasn't convincing, I'll tell you that. But start okay, and then I think from game week 3 is when I first started questioning things. That dismal, like genuinely just abhorrent game against Birmingham, where it wasn't like we got unlucky and missed, big chances and Birmingham hit us on the counter attack twice. Those sorts of games you're going, fine, it does, won't happen every time. But Alex Scott had been sold, general ill feeling around the club, and then a performance like that where a Birmingham side who were really poor and eventually at the start of the season quite well, to be fair, just out-tacticked us. Is that just I think that kind of started, despite the relatively good run after that. I think that kind of made oh my god, this is really going to work with Pearson here.
Yeah, it kind of started that bit inconsistency which we had throughout the whole season. First few games, like you said, yeah, we got the draw against Preston, then that Millwall away win was special, and then the early part of the season where only goals we'd score was from Harry Cornick throw-ins, which was the running joke. But yeah, what was I gonna mention? Yeah, at the start of the season as well, obviously we like you said, we lost Alex Scott, but also Tommy Conway's injury with his hamstring, so that played a big part as well into it. And then got knocked out of the EFL Cup early on against Norwich. Obviously not like a massive deal, but still. Then went on a decent run, beat Swansea away, had that night against Plymouth. But then the second we think we're moving in the right direction and we fall back, yeah, narrow loss against Leicester, fair enough. But then that Stoke game was just something we wanted to forget, going 2-0 up and then throwing away all 3 points to lose in the end. And then it was very inconsistent from them, especially in the run-in till Pearson sacking.
Yeah, the Cardiff game. Dismal and Pearson sacked. I think we obviously we talked a lot about it at the time. If you want to get our reaction at the point, just kind of scroll back to the podcast we did then, and then you can find it there. But it just felt wrong. And honestly, on reflection, actually hindsight is a wonderful thing in football, especially in football, but it might have not been the worst decision in the world.
Yeah, I still think to this day it was the wrong moment to sack Pearson at that time, and it wasn't really his fault. Obviously in that Cardiff game, I mean, who were we playing? Joseph James at right back or something like that. It was. I remember being there. That was a poor game, and yeah, we were on a poor run of form, but we did have losses against Leicester, Leeds, Ipswich. But yeah, that definitely turned the fan base against the club, and created a lot of questions after those few losses. We had like a couple wins now and then, like that Rotherham away win, that was something special, but we needed a Tommy Conway masterclass for that. And then that Coventry game, which again somehow we win those with Dickey coming in clutch at the end. But yeah, then it was after Cardiff the news came out, and then it was one game against Sheffield Wednesday where we had Curtis Fleming until Liam Manning was appointed for the QPR way.
That's okay. Again, on reflection, I agree with you. I think the timing of it was poor, and the excuse in the club statement saying that what was it? It was a results-based decision. It just wasn't. Just clearly wasn't, because the injuries within the squad. I know every team has injuries, but you just had to see the team we were playing with compared to I don't know, start of the season, or even what Manning has now. It's just light and day. It's just complete light and day. Joseph James at right back.
We had Mark Sykes at left back that game.
Mark Sykes a left back. I remember the Ipswich home game. We played Andy King at centre back against the informed team in the country at that point, and you're going, yeah, no hope there. But yeah, just a really sour end to what should have been a quite promising period in the sort of club's history. Manning comes in, kind of stabilizes things a bit. It doesn't really change too much. It doesn't fluctuate, which I didn't mind, to be honest. At the point, I didn't want anything to be like unsustainably growing or unsustainably decreasing. I just want a steady, gradual process. You know what I mean? As in, you'd rather have good foundations and then gradually increase rather than have a kind of quick exponential growth and then quickly crash. I'd rather have a steady foundation. And then Manning seemingly looks like he's doing that up to this point.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. It was well, I mean, I think the QPR game was only a couple of days after he joined. That was just a boring 0-0 I went to. But and we had that Middlesbrough win with that cracking TGH goal, and brought a bit of optimism. Then we did go on a 4-game winless streak. That Norwich game at home was definitely frustrating, and then a draw against Huddersfield, and then a loss against Blackburn. But then we had that 3 on the bounce, which then really brought things alive. Crucial win against Sunderland, weren't amazing that day, but then that 3-2 win against Hull and then 4-1 at Watford were massive results, and we were really playing good football in those 2 games, and you could see what we were playing, and I think the atmosphere started to change a bit. But then inconsistency again, like you said, didn't change too much as we went into the new year.
Inconsistency. It's just inconsistency, isn't it? It's just been the case for 4 or 5 years now. It's just consistently inconsistent, and that's probably. We came in within touching distance of the playoffs, didn't we? Get after Watford, and we're all going right. Go push, like go for it. And then the Birmingham game, and then the Millwall game, and then it's just all coming back to earth. In the middle of all that, though. You get a cup game against a certain Premier League team in West Ham United, and arguably, but we'll talk about this. You can disagree if you want. Arguably, moment of the season at West Ham. Just surreal day, and going away to the London Stadium. Yeah, talk us through it. It's just ridiculous.
I mean, it's brilliant. We obviously love a Premier League draw. We had Man City last season. Obviously, that didn't end amazingly, but yeah, playing
who cares? It's Man City. Who cares? Like if Arsenal and Liverpool are not going to beat Man City, what do Bristol City have a chance in? Like you know what I mean? Like if they're going to win 4 Premier League titles in a row. If we're struggling to be a relegated Huddersfield side, what hope do we have against Man City? Like, you know.
But against West Ham, we obviously knew we had a bit of a chance. Went down early on in that game against with a Bowen goal, but then we really grew into it, and that game was just fantastic. The atmosphere looked amazing. Obviously, you were there, and then Tommy Conway in front of the away end, scoring in the 61st minute to get the score level. And yeah,
the thing is, everyone talks about the Tommy Conway finish. No one talks about the Joe Williams, like Andrea Pirlo-esque ball through. It is a ridiculous ball. It's out. It's like, is that outside of the foot? Is that?
I think it was just like he just sliced it, but
it. Yeah, exactly.
Daisy cutter. It was a daisy cutter kind of pass.
Daisy cutter, right through that West Ham defense, and it doesn't overhit. It's not overrun to Conway. It's perfect. And yeah, the moment he went in, you're all just going, "Oh my god, this is happening!" And yeah, that goal. And then West Ham didn't really look like they were just going to score after that. I think Danny Ings missed a close range chance or something like that, but didn't really look like they were going to score either. So yeah, brilliant day and a 1-1 draw. And then after that 1-1 draw at West Ham, we actually go to lose 2-0 at Preston. And we'll skip the West Ham Cup win at home because we've talked about West Ham away, which I think is a bit more special, to be honest, rather than the Cup win at home. But in the middle of all of this, the league run is dreadful. and we barely win in the league. We get knocked out away at Forest, but then go away to Middlesbrough, and then win there at the Riverside. Beat Southampton in arguably the most impressive performance of the season. Beat them 3-1 comfortably, ending their 25-game unbeaten run. We'll ignore that as well. We'll not talk about that. I want to talk about this 4-game losing streak after that, where QPR rock up to Ashton Gate, blast off the park, beat us 1-0. Sheffield Wednesday beat us 2-1 at Hillsborough. Cardiff beat us 1-0 in the seven-side derby at Ashton Gate. And then, well, we lose 3-2 at Ipswich, but I'm not counting that because it's Ipswich. And
Yeah, that was
they're stupid. They're stupid. We played really well in that game, I thought.
Yeah, that was an unlucky loss. It was just Ipswich got us in the end. But yeah, there's just complete inconsistency when you look at all the results. We went 6 winless then in that period within the West Ham Cup run, and then we do get 2 on the bounce against 2 strong sides, and that 3-1 was just incredible. And then 4 losses in a row, which were just really, really poor. Things started to change. Then we got the result, Swansea at home, kind of smash and grab, really needed the 3 points. Then that West Brom.
Talk us through that. Talk us through that period from your perspective. What were you thinking on Manning then?
Well,
what were your feelings?
After Southampton, the optimism was through the roof.
Through the roof, yeah.
Harry Cornick scored to make it 3-0, and I couldn't be happier. But then QPR at home. Well, was it? Yeah, Cher got that goal, and we were really poor that game, and then we lose against Sheffield Wednesday. I'm like, those 2 games, it's minimum 4 points. It should be 6. It really should be 6. And we get nothing out of it. And then I'm really starting to question what's happening. Are we really getting any better than we were with Pearson? It was questionable. Then Ipswich, I thought we actually played quite well. But then they scored, what was it, 89th minute winner. To come back from 2 down.
That's stupid.
Yeah, they are some team. But I was really questioning it. Then we knew against Swansea we needed a result. Managed to do that, so that gave a bit of optimism. But then after that West Brom game, then you look at it, it's 5 losses in 6. And that was really worrying. And then you look at our next game, we've got Leicester at home, and we're really, really worried. But of course, it's the Bristol City way. We got Leicester at home after 5 losses in 6, and we go and win it. It sums up our last 4 years, basically.
Thing is, I remember Leicester fans coming into it going, "This is a must-win. Like, we must win." And I remember going on Leicester fan channels and going, "Mate, we don't have a chance here. Like, if you're competent, you'll beat us 2-3-0." I remember Ani and Matiss just rocket out, leathering that ball in, and I'm going, "Where was this against QPR and Sheffield Wednesday and West Brom and at a certain point Ipswich? What? How? Just mind-boggling." And that Leicester game happens 1-0. Obviously, Ani and Matiss with a ridiculous goal, and then after that, pretty good run. Pretty good run, yeah. Decent run. It's only 7 games unbeaten and whatever it is. 7, 8, 4, 3. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? 7. I'm assuming. My bad. I can't count. Obviously that includes 1-0 against Leicester, 1-0 at Plymouth, Sunderland 0-0, 5-0 against Blackburn, 100-minute penalty, 100-minute penalty against Huddersfield, a 1-1 impressive 1-1 draw away at Norwich, a comfortable 2-0 against Rotherham, and some game at Stoke which happened. I can't remember. Something happened there apparently. I was on the beach by then. 7 games unbeaten to end the season, kind of flipping the script on Manning to a certain extent. Obviously, some fans are still very unhappy with Manning. No, they want Pearson back, but we don't talk about that. That'll get them very angry. Kind of flipping the script from Manning pre kind of Swansea.
Yeah, I think once we knew we were out of the playoff race, like officially there was no chance. Then like you just said, maybe they felt a bit less pressure, and then we had a very positive end to the season. Yeah, we went 3 wins in 4, that 5-0 battering against Blackburn, which we both saw, and then got a last minute equaliser, good performance against playoff side Norwich with that Hayden Roberts goal, and then, like you said, comfortable win against Rotherham. It looked really good going into last game. Want to see final 3 points? Yeah, we talked about that game and we move on from that. But yeah, I mean, as we just talked through the season, it's just patch of good form, patch of bad form, good, bad, good. There's no sense of consistency, really. Which is kind of the same old story. But I think overall, since Manning has come in, I'm not sure statistics wise, but I think we've seen better performances, and you could see things coming together. And it just looks like there's a brighter future, and he looks like he's more likely to take us to that next step than I think Pearson would have been. So yeah, and I thought it was a good end to the season, and we have our highest points finish in the last few years. We've kept this trajectory up. We had that 19th, 17th, 14th, now 11th.
Low bar that 19th place.
Yeah, that was
Pearson said I think Pearson said it. If we played 5 more games, we would have gone down. Like they were mentally checked out. They were like gone. Anyway, sorry.
Nearly got a top 10 finish. How do we got?
Should have done.
Probably should have, yeah. But we finished on 62 points, positive goal difference, 4th best defense in the league based on goals conceded, and a decent record overall. But the problem was scoring them at the end of the day, because 53 is definitely below par for us.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. More goals to be added in the summer, hopefully. As Manning said, a striker, a 10, and a winger. Please. Would be bloody lovely. Yeah, I think you're right. We need some extra reinforcements going forward. That is the main bit. In one word, just quickly, I'm going to put you on the spot here. I haven't talked about this. In one word, describe the season.
I did this on the vlog actually, and so I asked my mates.
Did you know?
One of them said improvement. But that's it's
boring.
It's boring. It's a bit. There's nothing to it. One word. Oh, I don't know. I really don't know. Can you go first on this one? Let me think for a second.
Oh, I'll go first then. Okay. Baffling.
Okay.
Some baffling decisions. Baffling timing of it. Pearson sacking. Alex Scott sale and then the lack of reinvestment afterwards. Inconsistencies baffling. Player recruitment was baffling, considering we didn't use any, like a couple of them. Injury table is baffling. Like, how do you get so many injuries? That's quite weird. Yeah. That's a good one.
It's a good word. I don't have one. I'm gonna go with change in a word.
Boo.
It's a boring one, but I don't have anything on the top of my head. I just thinking in terms of manager, because it doesn't happen too much for us compared to others, and just I think the type of football we're trying to play now, and where we're moving towards, and I think we're getting closer and closer. And improvement, I think, fits in well as well, but slow improvement at the current rate.
Slow improvement is bang on, I'd say. I'd agree with that. Should we move on to the awards?
Before we do that, can we just talk about a couple signings for the like the January and the ones coming up?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Do
we? Yeah, go on. Yeah, you can talk about it if you want.
Just quickly, just on the January ones. Obviously, we had Taylor Gardner-Hickman on as a permanent now, and we've spoken about him a lot. He's a great player. Scott Twine, there's still hasn't confirmed. Hopefully, he can get that permanent deal done. And me doing the signature sign on the screen. So hopefully that goes through. And then we have Josh Stokes as well, Max Bird coming in. And, well, Oxford went, well, Derby are coming up, but Oxford went and won the playoff final.
God. So they're going to be insufferable next season.
We've got Derby and Oxford 4 games with them. Their fans are going to hate us because we've nicked.
And Luton. Remember.
Oh, Luton as well. But we've.
With Cal Naismith and Harry Cornick, they're going to hate us as well.
They should. I feel like Derby. They Luton less, but I feel like with Derby, Jason Knight and Max Bird.
And Hayden Roberts.
Hayden Roberts. And Oxford with Liam Manning.
Atkinson, Dickey.
And yeah. But I think
anyone else still playing
Liam.
Oxford? I swear there was. Atkinson, Dickey, Manning. Sykes. There we go. That's the one. Yeah.
So that would be.
We just take the best players from the best teams in League One. I love it.
But one player, Mabude. I mean, what a waste of a.
What a signing.
I mean, what happened? He played 3. He had 3 appearances. Played a grand total of 45 minutes of football for us.
Poor fella.
And then he goes back to Westerlo. I don't understand why Manning signed him if he wasn't going to use him at the end of the season when we knew we had nothing.
To be fair, I think it may have been training wise he wasn't probably good enough. He probably just probably not good enough. And did he really show anything on the pitch when he came on against QPR? Remember, he was absolutely terrible. Like, I know 30 minutes of football, but he was horrid against QPR. And yeah, possibly not impressive. We don't know what goes on in the training on the HBC day in, day out, so may have had something to do with that. Maybe just not the standard we require right now. Might be good enough in 2-3 years' time, and he's a little bit more mature. How old is he now? At 19? Yeah, maybe in a couple of years' time he's more mature. He's probably ready for the championship. But at the moment, I don't blame the club. It's a punt. It's a low risk punt, and we've seen punts like that come off at other clubs. So might as well be us taking a risk. Risks. There's always a risk attached to that risk. So I don't blame the club really. Taking that risk. I'll defend them on that because I think we've got to a point where we've trust the recruitment, Antinian and Manning, and to a certain extent John Lansdowne in terms of recruitment and whatnot, and that part of things. So I'll give them a pass on that one. It's fine. I'm not bothered really. Unless we take up the option to sign, then I'll be quite baffled. Should we move on to the?
I think that's not happening because it said we released him on the statement of the.
Well, yeah, no, I know. I think we still retain an option to buy, but I don't think we'll buy him. Obviously, I just doubt it. Right, should we move on to the end of season awards? So, for everyone who's watching this after the fact, actually, I'll just say it anyway. So, the categories for the awards are Player of the Season, Young Player of the Season, Best Moment of the Season, that can be off the pitch or on the pitch, Worst Moment of the Season, again, off the pitch or on the pitch, Best Individual Performance of the Season, so for the full, it doesn't have to be the full 90 minutes, it can be how many ever, and Game of the Season as well. Should we start with Player of the Season? And you can go first.
I think this one.
If you say the person I'm thinking, I'm going to change it. It's fine.
Okay. Well, I think this one is pretty easy. For me, I've gone for the man picked by the club as well at the season awards. Our summer signing, Rob Dickey, who had his debut season for us and has just been fantastic. I don't know how many goals he scored in the end. Probably like 4 or 5, maybe
5. I think
5 crucial games, getting us wins like Coventry. Got ahead against Southampton as well, and countless other times where he's been incredibly defensively, and he's just fitted in so well. And he's played with a couple of different partnerships as well, but just been so solid and just great defender, brilliant ball playing defender as well. I mean, obviously Naismith hasn't barely played this season, but he's shown he can do that as well, and has proved that along the way. But yeah, I think I'd give Rob Dickie player of the season for this year, and hopefully he continues his fine form.
Yeah, I thought you'd go with Dickie. Everyone has. Obviously, I completely respect that, and I probably would agree with Dickie. But just for kind of not copying you, I'll go for Max O'Leary, who I think has been fantastic this season. Obviously, major part of that. Actually, I think he's been the kind of only constant that's played 46 games in that defence. So major part of that back line. And to be, I think, joint third or fourth best defensive record in the league when we're kind of mid-table again. Superb from Max, and a couple of individually brilliant performances as well, where he's just been magnificent. So massive props to Max on. To be fair, has proved me quite wrong. I thought possibly not good enough on the ball, kind of kicking wise, distribution. Obviously, good shot stopper, but maybe just lacking in that kind of distribution area. But has done really well. Young player of the season.
Again, I think I'm just going to go with the obvious one. I've got some better answers for the next one, but I've gone for Tommy Conway.
Fair enough. Yeah, I've gone with
always for the club as well. I mean, we haven't scored a lot of goals this season, but he's obviously been our best striker. As much as I love Nahki Wells, performed in the FA Cup, and got those 2 goals against West Ham to send us through across the 2 legs. And yeah, I think overall in the season he should be doing a bit better, but I don't think he's had much of the service in certain situations. I think there's quite a few games where could be doing better, but then some games I feel like he couldn't do much more where he was. But overall, still top goal scorer for us. Yes, he has had a lot of penalties as well, but he's taken them brilliantly. I mean, he's 100% success rate. And just another good season for Tommy Conway, and hopefully continues up, and hopefully he stays with us as well, because we hope for a contract extension from him.
Best game of the season.
Best game of the season. Game or moment?
Did I say game? Oh, I said moment. Moment. I mean moment.
Moment. I'm gonna go for my best moment of the season.
What, like you've been there?
Yeah, as in I do it as well if it was on TV, but for me personally, it was Andy Weiman's goal at Watford to make it 4-1. Just because that game was brilliant and made it 3 on the bounce. That was like 80 something minute. Really nice goal, and then obviously we kind of knew that it was probably his last season for us. Nice goal. I think that made it his 50th or something like that. And yeah, it was just nice. The celebrations were really nice. The passion was there, and it was just brilliant game, good away day. And happy for Weiman.
I've got to go for it. I've got to go for Tommy Conway's moment the ball hit the back of the net. Elation. It's just goosebumps thinking about it. Mental feeling. Just a ridiculous moment. And people will go, "Oh, you only drew and didn't win," but you don't. It's kind of that kind of overall factor of it. 9,000 of us making the trip to East London, kind of homegrown player scoring that as well, showing the passion. And because I was in the upper tier, I could just see the whole of the lower tier just explode like immediately. Just ridiculous feeling. Yeah, just unbelievable. And hopefully Liam Manning can provide us with a couple more of those moments as well. I've got to go with not the finish, not Conway, not Williams' pass. The moment the ball hit the back of the net at West Ham, I've never quite felt something like it at a football ground, supporting Bristol City anyway. Where do I go next? Oh, brilliant. Worst moment of the season.
Worst moment. Do you want to go first or?
Well, mine's a bit of an interesting one because it's not necessarily like obvious. But I've gone for Ipswich at home, and let me explain. Not because we lost the game. Actually, no, it is because we lost the game. Not because of the performance or anything like that. I thought we actually played reasonably well. Probably should have got something at the game, but it was kind of the murmurings before the game, and it was kind of small sections going on. If we don't win against Ipswich and Cardiff, Pearson might be gone here. The moment I stepped out of Ashton Gate, I knew, like, I kind of felt right. No matter what the result of Cardiff is, we're not going to get anything there because we've got no players. He's gone, basically, because he's just been thrown under a bus. So that Ipswich game, because I was there and I just walked out the ground and I've seen those Ipswich fans celebrating, like, kind of feeling envious a little bit. Like, they've just bounced from League One. They've gone through, they're probably going to finish in the top 6 at least. And yeah, seeing our lack of squad, Pearson under massive, massive pressure, and you could tell in his face he was under humongous pressure. And to go lose at Cardiff as well, I wasn't there, but that sinking feeling going out of Ashton Gate, going, that's probably him done now. And he's a really likable fella as well. So for him, for that to be his last game as Bristol City manager, for me to be there anyway, just didn't feel right. Didn't feel right.
Yeah, I was worried as well at that time. I went to both Ipswich and Cardiff games, but I was still, it still came as a surprise to me. But yeah, that Cardiff game you could kind of tell, and I think Nigel Pearson probably knew himself. But yeah, I got to see Nigel Pearson in his last game for us. But yeah, that was a sad moment for me. It was probably more result based because I went to both Stoke legs, which wasn't fantastic.
They don't come anywhere near, mate. They don't come anywhere near. Like, honestly, Stoke away. I know we lost 4-0, but honestly, I don't care.
No, not Stoke. No, not Stoke away. More Stoke at home. I think was was poor. Stoke away. We just took the piss at the end, really, and no one really cared that much once it was 4-0. But in terms of result, probably well, I agree with the Nigel Pearson sacking in general around that period. And probably when we went on some poor runs of form, maybe around the 4 on the bounce. But that Stoke game was just so poor because we were 2-0 up, we were doing decently. There were some good patches. Really well. Yeah, there were some good patches for him around that time, and then we just threw it away and we just did it in classic fashion. And then they scored an 85th minute, and then that walk home was just pain.
Not God. Yeah, not nice. Best individual performance of the season. And by the way, if you're watching this after the fact, please do get your comments in the YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, get your kind of end of season awards as we go along with this as well. If you're listening to us on Spotify or any other podcasting platform, do get your leave us a 5-star review and engage with us on social media or on YouTube. You can come over and join us and engage with us live if you want in the live chat section. Best individual performance of the season. This doesn't have to be for 90 minutes. This can be for 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Just someone who did bloody well, really.
I've gone for Max O'Leary against Sunderland away. He was absolutely incredible in that game. I mean, you said he was player of the season. I think he was great throughout the whole season, like you said, but especially in that game, he kept us in there, and we got the point because of him. He was incredible. He made I think 2 or 3 really good saves, and then for the rest of it, he was good. I mean, I'm looking at the stats now. He faced 1.5 xG of goals. He made 7 saves, and just an incredible performance from him to keep the unbeaten run going. And I think sometimes he goes a bit unnoticed. And there were parts of maybe last year we were looking at maybe do we need a new keeper? Is he up to stand? Does he have enough competition? But this year he's definitely stepped up improvement. So Max O'Leary.
No, that's a very valid shout. I actually probably would say that. But again, 4 reasons to be different. I will go Tommy Conway's return to the pitch at Rotherham, where
Whoa.
he comes off the bench in a game where this is going nowhere. Like this is a 0-0 written all over it, right? Game's going nowhere. Comes on after his hamstring injury, by the way. He's just come off probably surgery, maybe. Yeah. No, I don't know. I'm not a medical expert. Comes off, obviously, clearly not completely fit because he doesn't start for a while after that. Comes off against the Rotherham defence who look quite sturdy. What does he do? Produces arguably one of the best finishes this season. That's not really talked about enough, actually. And then the second goal, the audacity to do that. We've just scored. They've gone up the other end and scored. And then what happens? In the 90-something minute, Tommy Conway, with a ridiculous kind of, with the heel, sticks his foot out, past Johansson, one of the best goalkeepers in the league. Mental performance from him, and match-winning performance is about right. And yeah, probably kept Nigel Pearson in a job. Brilliant, brilliant.
For the,
Just go on.
For the 400 odd fans or something, I think that went down there. I mean, they got their money's worth in the end. That the passion you could see, and he was so happy as well because obviously being out for a good few months must have been tough. But those two finishes, like you said, that first goal and then that touch from an Andy King cross, just really just amazing. One game to remember, yeah.
Right. Lastly, is match of the season, and I've restricted this to matches you've been to.
Okay.
Did I tell you that?
No, but mine are. I've done that as well because, well, I didn't manage to make West Ham away. I wasn't available for that.
I've not chosen West Ham away because I just talked about Tommy Conway, so I'm not going to talk that.
Okay. That I was at West Ham at home. That was some game, but I feel like because it was amazing, but because we scored very early on, it wasn't like the atmosphere. The atmosphere was incredible, and at the end, obviously, jubilation. But it was kind of, you know,
It was not jubilation. I was like crapping myself, to put it lightly. I was like sat at the back going, "I'm not seeing this. Like I am not watching this at all."
No, as in at the final whistle, it was the celebrations were great, but because we scored so early on, it just felt a little bit weird. That's up there, but I don't know. For me personally, I was at the Millwall away game as well. That was limbs as well. With Matty James's last minute goal. I'd probably say that I've already mentioned the Watford one with Vyman. That's up there, but just because it was a last minute winner, Matty James with a cornet throw. I'm going to go for the Millwall game, the 1-0.
I'm going to go for the Plymouth Argyle at home game because we started so quickly, 2-0 up inside 8 minutes. I was just sat there confused, going, "We don't do this. What? Like, where's VAR? Like, disallow these goals." And then Plymouth score, and then you're going, "Oh, okay, here we go. All right, this is what it's really about." And then that full away end, I think they sold out within like half an hour or something. They're going mental. We're like going, "Oh, here we go again. We're going to draw this or lose this game." And then Sykes scores a ridiculously good counter-attacking move. And then none other than the main man, Harry Cornick, steps up and gets a fourth. And you're going 4-1 against the pride of the Southwest. Yeah, there you go. How about that? It was very nice just to, obviously, I don't want to get into this argument about whether Plymouth are rivals or whatever. There's a little bit there in it. It's a tiny bit of sting needle there, a little bit. It's not massive. It's just a little bit there. And yeah, it was nice to get one over them and do the double over them as well. It's quite nice. But yeah, that will probably be my game of the season to jump into. That is it, I think, for the end of season awards. And I think that is probably it for the season in review, because I just want to get this season over with. Because I really want to focus on next season. To be honest, not because this season was bad. I just want to focus on next season, 24-25, which will hopefully, fingers crossed, touch wood, will be fantastic from a Bristol City perspective, and a really successful one as well. But how long have we been saying that? Matiss, any sort of final thoughts, final words? Talk about the League One sides that have come up, the Premier League sides that have been relegated, that will be joining us in our wonderful, glorious league next year.
Yeah, well, the sad thing is that all Championship, promoted sides are coming straight back down. So yeah, we'll see Luton, Burnley, Sheffield United join us, along with Portsmouth, Derby.
One of them's going to take the piss in this Championship League, I'm telling you
that. Along with Portsmouth, Derby, and now Oxford United, who won the playoff final. Yeah, another interesting season. Obviously, we're going to have a lot of optimism going into it. We've seen our progress. Hopefully, we keep Twine, make a striker signing. And then we obviously have Bird coming in. It could be a really good season, provided we have little injuries. Manning has a preseason. We say the same thing every year, but it's there. There's potential, but we're just going to have to see what happens, really. I don't want to get my hopes high. But yeah, there's a lot of tough teams going to be in here, because we're going to have one of Leeds and Southampton still in the league.
fuck's sake.
And we're going to have still like Norwich and West Brom will still be strong. And likes of, Coventry, Middlesbrough are still good.
Hull.
And then Hull in there too. And Derby, I think, are going to be...
Pompey will be good next year.
Pompey will be strong.
Pompey will be brilliant next year.
Derby as well, and then obviously Burnley. I think they might just continue this cycle, so it's not going to be easy again. But we will try our best. Hopefully, make some signings, and then we'll be back for probably a pre-season podcast. If any major transfer news happens, we'll come in. But we go again, and we pray that we can potentially be in a playoff final this time next year. Playoff final this time next year.
Some luck would be lovely. Like any sort of luck would be quite nice. That is it. That is a wrap on the 23-24 season. Just quickly, thank you very much to everyone who supported us throughout the season. The first full season for the 1894 podcast. The support has been phenomenal from you guys. It's really been, magnificent. So a massive thank you to you all for tuning in, whether that's on Spotify, YouTube, any other podcasting platform. Thank you for engaging with us. Thank you for liking our stuff, kind of supporting us generally. We will be back better, stronger, better than ever, and all that cliches. Probably, I don't know, whenever is appropriate. But until we see you, enjoy the summer. This weather's not going to be around all the time. It is 8 o'clock, and it's really sunny outside. Like, I'm not sure I like it. I want the winter back. That's a joke. That's a joke. It's not going to be sunny all the time, so enjoy it. Don't think about football too much, because it's just going to muddle your brain. Like our
Euros coming up now, so we potentially have Ani and Matiss to be watching for Albania.
Oh, and Thomas Callas might be there. Czech Republic there.
Czech Republic. I think they are there. And
Adam Naj.
Andy Weimann potentially.
Andy Weimann. There we go. A good place to watch out for. Thank you very much for kind of supporting us. Heartfelt thank you from both of us, I'm sure. And we will catch you all very soon. And hopefully all of you have a good summer. But until then, thank you for tuning into the 1894 podcast this season. And we will catch you all very, very soon. Matiss, do you want to say a final word?
Thank you for the support. Like everyone said, make sure to follow our socials in the description, all that good stuff. And we'll see you soon. Cheers, guys.
Thank you very much, everyone. Keep safe, and we will catch you all later. Cheers.